So I just want to talk about what we're doing here. We're fishing weighted nymphs in an alpine lake. We're at Lake Vernon in Yosemite. And if you had never fly fished, this is all you need to do. I just tied a loop in the end of my line, tied 4-pound test monofilament line to the end. I have about a 8-foot leader and then a little weighted nymph, and they sink. I've hooked about 6 fish in 40 minutes. My cousin's caught 2. My cousin's never been fly fishing before, and he's doing great. So what we're doing, if you start out watching the basic fly fishing clip I do, absolute basics, I talk in there about a 6-foot leader. You need about an 8 to 9-foot leader, and then you trim it down from there. So what you want to do when you're weighted nymph fishing in an alpine lake, it'll sink. It sinks, and then when you tug it, it rises. So what you do is you cast it out there. Get it out there, let it sink a little, and then I do short strips. You strip it. You strip it. And if you don't like harming fish, this is a great way to fish, because the fish, you usually hook the fish right in the outside of their mouth, and if you have the clippers I talked about, you can let them go. And I mean, we're catching one fish after another out here. It's the middle of the day. You know, you can dry fly fish in lakes in the evening, but you're not going to catch fish with this kind of regularity. And if you can't really cast far, if you can find a spot where it's really deep along the edge, you only need to roll cast it out there and just let your nymph sink. And watch, I strip it, I just pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, and they're just nailing this thing one after another. We don't have any fancy knots. We just have that loop, tied a stretch of 8-9 foot line on there, and then the weighted nymph, and that's all you need. Get an expensive rod, get a cheap rod, doesn't matter. Just get out here and give it a shot. Oops, I stacked that one. The thing I love about coming out to a place like this in Yosemite, if you could just look at some of the scenery, is no matter how important you are at home, you can be the CEO of a company, you can have a family that loves you, dozens of friends, created a legacy. You come out here and you slip and fall in the river, you're no different than a deer. Oh, there's another one. Oh, we got one right there, right while I was talking about my thing. But in this place doesn't care who you are. But that was perfect timing. See, I mean, we're catching one fish after another. This is like the 7th fish I've hooked in 40 minutes. And it's just one after another. Boom, boom, boom. And they're just hard fighting rainbow trout. And we're nymph fishing. So when I'm reeling these fish in, I'm not using the reel. If you're new, I'm just stripping the line. And when the fish runs, I just let him I just release a little bit of line and let him run. So I'm gonna get him in here. I'm gonna keep him wet. I can see the lure in his mouth, the fly. So I'm gonna get him over to me. Lance, check this out. Oh, this is a nice fish. It's about 15, 16-inch rainbow. Barely got him hooked. So I keep him in the water and just kind of pin him down. And then if I need further leverage, I'll just grab the bottom. But this hook is barely in there. I can just pop it right out. Boom. Here's my trout to show you. Beautiful rainbow trout, Lake Vernon, Yosemite. That's a nice fish. Weighted nymphs. Go get yourself a fly rod. If you've never given it a shot, just get a fly rod and come down to the lake and mess around. That's all it's about, is just coming out and messing around. It's a great time. Let him go. If I'm crazy enough to hike up here later, another time, I can come catch him again. So that's your explanation of weighted nymph fishing. I'm gonna have a bunch of fish I caught in clips that the audio didn't work, and that's just something that happens out here. This camera's really fickle when it comes to the external microphone, so I apologize for not having sound on some of these fish clips I'm gonna show you, but it is what it is. But I'm just gonna keep on fishing. So my cousin Lance got another fish. This is his second trout fly fishing using. Don't even. Oh, he got off.
All right, that's good.
It's a nice trout. First time he's been fly fishing, so that's good stuff. Using weighted nymphs in an Alpine lake. So I changed flies, and this one's working too. A lot of fishing is patterns, and we're fishing in the windy end of the lake. The wind's coming right into our face, and we've hooked over a dozen fish in an hour and a half fly fishing with nymphs, and it's because I think the food's blowing right in our faces, and the fish are here to respond. And I mean, I'm catching a fish every 2 or 3 casts. So here's this guy. I changed my fly because the other one's just destroyed. See, he's running now. I'm just letting the line out. I'm using my finger here to control the line like I did in my Absolute Basics fly fishing clip. If you haven't seen it, maybe subscribe to Wilderness with Amani, and I give all the basic. See, I just let the line out. So I'm not using my reel. I'm allowing the line to go out with my finger. And this guy has a lot of spunk and power. There he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Oh, my line's all wrapped around a log on the shore. That is never good. This guy doesn't want to give up. He's got spirit. Yeah, and I think that's what we stumbled into here. We got the wind blowing right in our face. We're on this open expanse of granite here, and the wind's just blowing right at us, and we're just catching one trout after another. And Lake Vernon is not an easy lake to catch trout in. It's just if you get a good pattern going, and you get your nymph fishing going, you can catch a lot of trout. This guy does not want to give up. Oh, there he is. There he is. Come on, boy. Ooh, he's all wrapped up. Ooh, that's a nice fish. That's about a 16-inch rainbow trout right there. Or a 15-incher, I'd say. See the white tips on his fins? This is a male. And those white tips, I believe, means he's getting ready to spawn. But I couldn't be sure. So I'm going to show you the fly I'm using now. My other fly was destroyed because I caught so many fish, and I kept grabbing it. There we go. So we got this nice rainbow trout. That's a beautiful trout, huh? Look at that. Let him go. Go get bigger. So this is the fly I switched to. I went from that brown fly to this little weighted nymph that's got a bead head. It's got this shiny olive green color on it, and it's it's really small. And all of this is in my basic beginner tackle clip. If you haven't subscribed to Wilderness with Amani and you want to learn to fly fish and fish for trout in general, I recommend you might subscribe and check out some of my clips, because I do the best I can so that people who've never done this don't get intimidated and they say, hey, I'm gonna go grab a rod, I'm gonna go down to the lake and go have a good time. I mean, my cousin's here, he's catching fish, and this is the first time he's ever fly fished, and he's doing great. So I think that you could do great too if you've never done this. So I hope you try it if you've ever been curious about it. So my cousin Lance just hooked his fourth fish, first time fly fishing using weighted nymphs. Remember what you're doing. Okay, put that down. There we go. He's new to this whole fly fishing thing. And we're trying not to harm any fish. We're letting everything go. That's a nice trout, Lance. So you're just gonna grab the line, the hook with that, and pop it out. Grab his lower lip if you need more leverage. And that way you don't have to squeeze the fish or touch its gills. I mean, sometimes you gotta grab the fish. It's just what it is, you know?
He's not opening his mouth.
Yeah, just pop that thing out. There you go. Another Lake Vernon trout. There he is. Oh, he's fighting. Oh, he's jumping. Weighted nymph. Undervalued. These fish are really strong. The water's ice cold. The snow just melted. The rivers are really raging, so. There he is. Swing around. There he is. Beautiful fish. Oh yeah. Let's get him in and see what he looks like. It's a nice 14, 15 incher. Oh, my clippers are wrapped up in my fly line. So look at that guy. Oops, there he goes. Popped right out. Swims away. Lured to catch another day. So once again, I'm not reeling these fish in. I'm just stripping my line in. And when the fish runs, I just let a little line go so it doesn't snap my line. And that's how you control it. And then just keep fishing. So let's work on some more. So we've got a lot of fish today. I think this is gonna be the last one. My thumb is actually starting to hurt. I've caught a lot of trout. I've caught over a dozen fish myself in not too long amount of time. Oh, there's my cousin Lance. He's using a spinning rod now with a spinner. It's wide open back here on this windy end of the lake. I got enough fish today to last me the whole trip. It was a wonderful afternoon of fishing. If you've never fly fished in a lake and you've always wondered about it, I highly recommend you give it a try. Thank you for joining me at Wilderness with Amani for all of this. It's been a pleasure, and I hope the information I've given you is helpful in you to enjoy your next trip to the mountains backpacking in these alpine lakes. I don't even care that this guy's small. I just wanted one more fish. There we go. He's small. Go grow up. So, it's wonderful. Thanks for joining me for this clip. Give you one more view of the beautiful Lake Vernon Alpine Lake. We're just catching fish all over the place. My cousin Lance had never been fly fishing. He came out here with the nymphs and was destroying them too. And it was a great day. Thank you very much. And until next time.